The history between Germany and France has always been very changeable. Long referred to as eternal hereditary enemies, it was only after the Second World War that the two countries managed to resolve their differences and grow into close friends. One territory in particular was a major bone of contention, Alsace-Lorraine. The territory changed nationality a total of 4 times and was always of central importance to both states. To this day, it is an extraordinary region where German and French culture meet. But why did this region of all places play such an important role in history? Why did it ultimately go to France, and how German is the region today? We take a look at all these questions in today's video. The historical region of Alsace-Lorraine already played a very important role in the Middle Ages. However, centuries earlier it was already the center of the Frankish Empire under Charlemagne. The Franconian Empire was later divided up and the region became part of the Holy Roman Empire of the German nation. As the name suggests, it was then German in character for a long time and was one of many small principalities within the empire. However, France also gradually laid claim to the territory and the region's eventful history began. France was able to take advantage of the devastation and weakening of the small German states during the 30 Years' War and annex some of the former Habsburg territories in Alsace. Under the Sun King Louis XIV, France then expanded even further and was able to bring the entire region as far as Strasbourg under its control. And it was at this time that the myth of the lost imperial territories arose among many Germans. However, the area later known as the Reichsland Alsace-Lorraine was by no means a region that historically belonged together. Alsace and Lorraine were culturally quite different areas, but from then on they were often simply lumped together as Alsace-Lorraine. After all, the region had a strong special role within France for a long time. It continued to have a strong German cultural influence and many refused to convert to French Catholicism. It was also economically separated from the rest of France by a customs border. It was only during the French Revolution and under Napoleon that the region became more closely tied to the French central state and remained part of France despite Napoleon's eventual defeat. Nevertheless, German remained the everyday language. And Germany was later to use this still existing solidarity to renew its old claims. In the year 1870, the Franco-Prussian War broke out and, in addition to the unification of all German states against a common enemy, the reconquest of Alsace-Lorraine was also one of the central objectives. On the one hand, the reconquest was intended to demonstrate Germany's military strength against France, but on the other hand, the area was also of extremely important strategic significance. It was located at one of the most important European transport hubs, had numerous natural resources, was already industrialized and also represented an important military outpost. And so it fell to the newly founded German Reich in the subsequent Treaty of Versailles. However, the borders were not only drawn on the basis of linguistic and cultural features, but the Germans also incorporated some French-speaking areas that had an important strategic role. For example, the city of Metz and the surrounding area. For the French, who already regarded the cession of the German-speaking territories as an absurdity, this was a deep insult. A wave of national indignation broke out, the loss was considered unacceptable and, in the French mind, the region continued to belong to the Grande Nation. A strong anti-German sentiment broke out and it was clear that the last word had not yet been spoken about the region. Alsace-Lorraine was therefore one of the reasons for the Franco-German hereditary enmity. And there was soon to be a new war between the two nations, the First World War. A brutal war began between Germany and France, from which France ultimately emerged victorious and Alsace-Lorraine once again changed sides as the spoils of war. Many inhabitants had already hoped for more autonomy during their time in the German Empire, so these aspirations continued under French rule. Many inhabitants saw a largely autonomous neutral state, similar to Luxembourg, as a solution between the claims of both countries. However, the Second World War soon broke out and Alsace-Lorraine changed hands again, as it fell into German hands along with the rest of France. It was only after the war that the situation eased and the area now belonged permanently to France. Many inhabitants were traumatized by the 3 wars in which they had played a central role. They now wanted lasting peace and most of the inhabitants adopted French culture. It was only through the process of European unification that lasting peace could be established, and Strasbourg in particular played an important role in this. The Council of Europe was founded there in the year 1949 and today the European Parliament is based there. Even though most of the inhabitants today see themselves as French, there are still many remnants of German culture. You can recognize the typical German half-timbered houses. Many old people still speak the Alsatian or Lorraine dialect, and the cuisine is also similar to that of the German border regions. Pupils learn German as well as French at school. Today, Alsace-Lorraine is seen as a role model for the whole of Europe, as French and German culture can coexist peacefully there. And the region is now a popular tourist destination, as you can experience the unique blend of both cultures there. Not to mention, of course, the picturesque landscape, the historic towns and the rich cuisine.